I'm seeing a lot of air being pulled in. That thing is really flying now. Welcome to Land House. I'm Seth. I'm partnered with Langston Alternative Power to test out this 4-inch micro hydro unit. I'm kind of the guinea pig on this one, so hopefully we'll get a lot of things done. So the concept here is there is a 3-phase motor, which here's your 3 wires here, and inside of the Y fitting is an impeller. So water is going to spin that, which spins this, and that's where your power comes out of. So to get this thing working, I'm going to use a couple of configurations. The first one is going to be through siphon. So I will take this 90 and turn it up, fill that with water, and I'll have to install a down pipe, which is this one, onto the other end of the Y fitting down here. And then I'll use this cap here, that down pipe, so I can turn this up, fill it with water, turn it back into the water, remove the cap. I know it's a lot going on. And that should pull a siphon over the dam down here at the pond. So with all that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get this down to the water. And if it runs properly, what I'm gonna do next is I've got a 100-watt dump load. There's our fitting for the light bulb. I've also got a charge controller. Hopefully it has the readout for wattage. We'll have to hook up a battery, all kinds of fun stuff. But anyway, let's go ahead and load this up on the 4-wheeler, head down to the water, and see what we get. Be sure to subscribe because I'll be using this for several different tests. I'm going to test different heights of the downpipe. We're going to try feeding water directly to the unit instead of siphon, and a host of other things. This thing rides pretty good on a 4-wheeler. I like that. All right, so here is the water feature we're going to be using for this micro hydro. There's an 8-foot drop off over here, and the flow rate I'm assuming is somewhere around 60 or so gallons a minute. Maybe more, maybe less, not entirely sure. But luckily the water level is right here on the rock, so we don't have to siphon over very much before it can head on down here. So as you can see, it's kind of scary, and I'm gonna have to travel down in snake land to get to the cap down here to start this thing. So the only way to start and stop the unit is to turn the siphon, the T, into the water or out of the water. So I did bring some wire nuts to cap off the 3-phase for the initial startup test. Let me see if I can bring this into the sun and give you a closer look at what this is like. This is a Y fitting, as you can see right there, 4-inch, and this up here is where the 3-phase unit is sticking out. Now, if you look up under here, there is an impeller. Let's see how well it's going to focus. I can't see if you can see or not. It's too bright out here. Joe Malovich has been doing some plastic impellers, and that's one that we're going to be testing out. It's a good size, and we hope that it will stand up to enough water to finish up these tests here before Langston Alternative Power makes a stainless steel version. What's the purpose of this test today? We're going to get it started. So let's go ahead and plop this in the water, and I may put this little section of 4-inch pipe right here. Oh no, he's got that glued in. We'll have to go get us a coupling. All right, so basically the idea is siphon will pull here, go up and over, and come down here, and we'll have to attach this because the down pipe will determine the suction power basically. And so currently that may not even start because this is just ever so slightly below that. There we go, a much better look at that plastic impeller. Should give us a pretty good test of whether or not this should be changed into a stainless steel. Do check out Joe Malovich's channel down below. He has got how he made this basically, and it's pretty cool. All right, so the plan is to use this 4-inch coupling here on this piece right there. I did bring some screws if we need to lock this into place a bit better. And this right here is about a 3-foot piece of 4-inch pipe. And this was going to go right down here like that. And this should give us a really serious test of how powerful this thing can be. So I'm going to stick with this right here going into the water. And so we may end up with a vortex that brings air into here, and we'll have to extend this down some. But for now, we'll just start off with that. This will be making 3-phase AC. So I'm just going to put a couple of wire nuts here on the end of these wires to keep anything from happening to us. Several years ago, I was standing on this rock and dropped a GoPro into the water. That was terrible. And then not too long after that, I had a GoPro right here and it fell off over in here. So I've lost a few GoPros over the years. So far, it's looking pretty good. This is going to be at a good level to get water into it. And this over here seems to be resting well enough. It's heavy over here, so I can actually lift this really easy. But I'm hoping there's enough stuff here to keep it in place. And maybe when this is full of water, it'll be heavy enough along this section to keep it in place. So that being said, I've got my wires up out of the way. I'm going to clear off this debris real quick so that it's not resting on that. And then we will go ahead and walk down there and I guess put the cap on. Probably could have done that up here, but we'll have to get to it down there anyway. Okay, I've got the cap and the impact driver to tighten it down with. And now it's time to walk through snake land. No snakes on that round. Okay, so I've got this rubber cap and it's just uses a hose clamp to tighten down. I'm gonna go ahead and attach it to the end of the pipe. And I'm probably gonna regret not putting any screws in that coupling, but we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna do that real quick. I didn't bring the tripod, so I'll just show it when it's done. I now have the cap there on the end, so it's time to go start filling it up from the top. My prediction is the weight inside of this tube here is going to pull all that out of the fitting, and we'll have to put a screw in there. It's going to be a whole thing, but let's give it a try. Okay, I forgot to bring a bucket, but my neighbor had one, so I'm going to borrow it. So the plan now is to simply attach this 90 here onto the end, not too tight now, and then just start filling this up with water. And hopefully it doesn't bust the other end off or I fall into the pond. So now I'm going to try to turn this into the water. We got about 3 inches of clearance there for that siphon to take place. So when I pull this cap over here, hopefully this whole thing will start spinning. I'm probably about to get wet. Okay, it didn't pull the siphon. I hope you can hear me all right. I think what's happening is the 6-foot section across the dam is too much volume for this small standpipe here to support the siphon. So I need to do one of two things. Either extend this all the way down, or cap the bottom, cap the top once it's full, turn it in the water, and then remove the cap. I think that'll work because the siphon will basically have that whole pipe across the dam full of water. Now it's halfway full and it just doesn't maintain a full siphon. All right, I cut a small piece here and got a cap, and I think we can put that on there and maybe it'll prevent this from flowing back. But I thought of another idea. We can hit it with a rock. No, I'm just kidding. So we need more water in this side of the tube than we do this side to get the siphon started. So my thoughts were, what if we lift up this whole section here? Yeah, hopefully it works. so that there's water up to, I don't know, whatever point that rock is at. And then when we turn that back down, hopefully it'll pull all of that siphon instead of just up here. But we'll have to have this little piece stuck down in there to make sure it has enough into the water. Don't you worry, we're about to get this unit going. If you would take a moment to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell, I have several more videos coming up demonstrating how this 4-inch unit works. It's full to about right there. Anyway, let's see if it's enough. This will be my last time to try starting the siphon just using water. If it doesn't work, I will bring a shop vac down here and pull the siphon with the vacuum. I will. No go. Here's the new plan. I have this super old shop vac and I took the filter out, so if it does get some water in here, I think we'll be okay. And then I've made up this little contraption. Basically, it's gonna go 4-inch coupling down to 1.25 inches. This side right here, the inlet side, fits perfectly in here and makes a pretty tight seal. So I also left this T up here so I can basically put a hand above that like this, and it will bring the siphon over, and then I can drop that, pull this out, and I think that's enough to get it going, and then I can just pull this whole coupling off of there and get the full force of that siphon. Let's go try it out. A week has passed, and I had a good conversation with Spencer from Langston Alternative Power, and he said, yes, my idea for having the downpipe in the water to start the siphon is a good one, but there's an easier way. You can actually use a bucket as your pool of water at the bottom. So the downspout will go into this, and it doesn't necessarily have to be that full 8-foot drop off the edge over there. So that's the plan for today. I have got a couple of fittings. I've got some of these to hopefully hold those pipes in place. And then I've got a 45 to hopefully replace that, is that a 45? Yeah, 45. To replace that 90, so hopefully we'll get better pressure out of that. And then I've got this Y fitting, which will be the new place that the shop vac pulls from. And we can turn off the valve and close that. So hopefully we'll get this up and running today. I know I won't be able to hold up this 5-gallon bucket and the vacuum at the same time, but we're gonna give it a try, and then I'll build some kind of stand over here to hold the bucket up for me. Nope, too heavy. Okay, I now have a stand to hold up the bucket. You may be tempted to admire my woodworking skills, but remember, we're here for hydro. So, here's my little stand. I'm gonna get some water in the bucket so that it will cover up this last little bit, and then we will pull the vacuum and hopefully get all this started. My prediction is gonna pull that right there out, so we'll see. But anyway, I'm gonna let this water fill up real quick and we will get this started. Okay, my goal is to attach the vacuum, let it suck water over, turn that ball valve so it has the suction continuing, and a lot of water is gonna come out of that bucket all at once. So anyway, let's see if it's gonna work. It looks like the siphon has started, but it's not really turning anything up top yet. So I'm not really sure what's going on. That's a lot of water coming out. I don't see any air flowing out of that. I don't see any kind of vortex over here. Let's see if I just touch this, if it will kick it off a bit. Hey, there we go. Now we're getting some movement. It's speeding up. Nice. So it just needed a little bit of extra push to get that thing going. All right, Spencer Langston was correct. We had to have the bucket down there to maintain that siphon. Otherwise it was gonna suck air in there and just quit. But that seems to be doing the job. I am a bit anxious to see how much water that's pulling versus how much water we have. It has slowed way down, falling over the waterfall here. But as you can see, we've got plenty of water to work with for these tests. As you can see, it has pretty much stopped the waterfall coming over the dam. But remember, whenever that thing goes under load, it's going to spin slower and it'll reduce the amount of water that it's pulling. So we'll have to do those tests also to see how much water this thing is consuming. I'm really excited to say that it did not pull the downpipe off of there. That's really cool. I think there's going to be two ways of stopping this thing. One is just to go up there and turn the 90 out of the water. And the other one, I'm wondering if I pull this ball valve open, if it will shut down. Let's find out. I'm seeing a lot of air being pulled in. Still going strong. Well, it looks like I've got enough water in this pond here to run this thing for maybe 30 minutes or so. All the water is done here on this rock, which is pretty serious. And if you look on the edge over there, it's dropped down about 3 inches. So definitely going quick. But super exciting to see. Hey, that's the end of today's video. All I wanted to do was get this thing running so that we have a clean install, clean, for us to do some testing. So I've got lots of stuff to do. I want to test different size or different length downpipes. I want to do a lot of stuff with power as well. So we'll be hooking up a rectifier and voltmeter, and we'll get a charge controller and battery and dump load, all kinds of stuff out here to see what kind of power this thing can produce. I also want to see the flow rates. So you can see it's dropping down pretty good now, but if we were to put a load on here, I think it will slow down a pretty good bit. But anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe and leave me a comment down below. I think this little series is going to be super exciting. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Bye. I don't want to leave you hanging. Let's see how we can turn this thing off. I think first of all, we're going to grab a tripod. All right, let's see if we can get this thing stopped. That was a fun sound. If you've enjoyed watching this 4-inch hydro unit, then I think you will enjoy watching a 6-inch version as well. So check out this video here from my friend Bill. He lives in Western North Carolina and is making 500 watts off of this system. All right, be sure to watch that video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.